Hello, my name is Josu de Solaun. I'm a pianist, and I was asked by my dear friends at the Enescu Festival in Bucharest to answer a couple of questions, um, communicating with young musicians who are looking into participating into the Enescu competition coming up in September. And one of the questions is, what would you tell a young musician in the present in order to encourage them to trust their dreams of developing a career in music? And I thought, when I was reading this question, I immediately thought of music in relationship to other art forms or even other activities of human beings. And I think that music is a unique field, a unique domain of human endeavor, because it contains within itself touches or it crosses with a lot of other fields, and that's something that one cannot always say of all art forms or of all activities. Most activities are sort of cloistered in their own world, in their own category. And I think what's fascinating about music is that in music there's arithmetic, there's physics, there's history, there's poetry, there's theater, there's painting. Um, there's so much that music touches upon, and I think that makes it a unique form of human activity. And so that already in itself, I think, is a reason to devote one's life to it, because of how incredibly fascinating it is, and what a great bridge into the world it is, a kind of lens to the world, kind of a way of looking into the world. But also I think that music at the same time is able to, through the certainty of the craft, touch upon uncertainty. In other words, some of the great music that we love and that we admire and that we play, we can understand it maybe sometimes, but almost never we can really explain it. And I think that's the ability of music to always, of course, start in firm ground, in its craft, in its practice, in all of these disciplines that I've listed, but then allows us to really feel the limits of the world, the limits of consciousness, the limits of the world, the mysterious, if one has to say it sort of bluntly. And I think we live in very uncertain times now, for sure. And maybe if there's a way to try to be in touch healthily with that uncertainty, to understand it a little bit better, or to see an analog in arts that behaves the same way as this uncertainty is music. And I think that musicians, in a way, they are in a very privileged platform to understand the world we're living in now. That would be another reason, I would say. And also, I think something that has to do with time. Time, of course, is essential in music, not only when music is happening in real time and in things like timing, which of course are so important for musicians, but also I think that music needs time to develop. For example, a musician needs time to practice, to learn, to perfect their craft. And sometimes, especially in recent years, we were not afforded this time, some of us at least. And if there's anything good that has come out of this very, very difficult times that we are all in, is that we have more time. And this is a gift for music, because music really blooms when we devote time to it. So I would say, if there's a time that music is important, it's now. And if there is a time where musicians can develop their craft and become better musicians, it's now. So I would like to tell young musicians that, working hard, which music is a real model for, and being constant in pursuing their goals and fighting for their dreams is always worth the sacrifice. And the harder the times are, in a sense, the greater the satisfaction of making these dreams come true will be at the end. Music cannot and should not be stopped. So this would be the answer I would give to that first question to my friends in Bucharest. And the other is the Enescu Competition is actually extending the deadline of application until May 29, and they're asking why would it be important for musicians to register to join an international competition even in the present context. Well, for me, the memories of this competition will always accompany me in my life because it was a very important stage in my own makeup as a musician and as a human being. I remember the thousands emotions and challenges when I immersed myself in Enescu's music, searching for all I could get about his life and his way of writing, his feelings, his ideas, arriving in the city, in Bucharest, and feeling its magic. And for me, there's a highly biographic emotional component that I wish for all participants. In fact, ever since, I feel a very strong bond with Romania and its music and its culture. But I think that taking part in a competition like this, it teaches you, I think, to be humble. Because it teaches you to work hard towards a goal and not I don't think that's important that you will be judged by others, but that you will play for other musicians who have devoted time to music. So in a sense, it's playing for other fellow musicians who share this love. And so I think taking part in a competition, seen this way, can teach one to be humble, to be hardworking, and to get completely involved and to connect with other hundreds of musicians feeling exactly the same fears and expectations like yourself. I think, of course, also it's very useful professionally because it gives you the opportunity to meet a lot of great professionals of music and play in a very unique environment. I mean, just to play in the Athenaeum in Bucharest is such an amazing experience that anyone who can experience it in their lifetime should just try to do it just because of that. I mean, it's a jewel of Romanian culture and architecture, and it's one of the most magical places in which to listen to music. And also, I think that Enescu is a figure that's wonderful to have as a model as a musician because of the devotion to music, selfless devotion to music, uncompromising devotion to music, but also because of Enescu's generosity towards students. I mean, we all know how much he got involved with teaching musicians that later became great, but also his activity playing for wounded soldiers in hospitals during World War One, and other such things. I think to participate in an event like this that carries his name is really an honor for any musician. At least I felt that is what it was for me. And what a great chance to be able to show the world the time that you have invested into this wonderful repertoire and this wonderful instrument that is the piano. So I think it's worth taking the chance. I encourage all young musicians to immerse themselves in the music of Enescu in preparing this competition, and I very, very much look forward as part of the jury this year to listen to all of you. And I send you my biggest hugs from Madrid and encouragement for the future. Bye.